Afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching this program from. Today, I am Antonia Nia, the Programs and Learning Officer at Eco Innovation Center. It's a pleasure to welcome you to today's webinar as we dive into an engaging conversation for the MarkHack 3.0 pre-conversation. Our theme for the MarkHack 3.0, as you know, if you have been following our communication across our platform, it's Beyond Limits, unleashing creativity with emerging tech, which encapsulates the spirit of innovation and exploration that we are here to celebrate. So we had the pilots to the MarkHack 3.0 pre-conversation last week, and we spoke about AI and personalization in marketing. We're joined by two amazing speakers, Tulope Lawani, and of course, Mr. Nathan Landman, co-founder of Try It on AI. Today our focus is on the topic blockchain in marketing more than just cryptocurrency. And we have a full house joining me on this journey to address our for you today. And well, today on the depth of blockchain. Thank you for joining us today. So I'll be calling on Mason. All right. Oh, okay. So apologies for that. All right, so I'm back. I'm back. Apologies for that once more. I'm back, and I think this will be a bit more stable. So proceeding with our agenda for today. I noticed you're on call again. Can you? Right. Okay. Can you kindly confirm if you can hear me now, please? Right. Okay. So just going on in already taking a lot of time. So going on for confirming. You can hear me. So I'll just go on with the introduction. All right. So as the marketing and media landscape undergoes continuous evolution, blockchain technology stands out as transformative force extending far beyond its initial association with cryptocurrencies. According to reports from Inside Intelligence, over a third, that's 38% of US workers, acknowledge widespread use of blockchain within their businesses, highlighting its growing significance. This section aims to unravel the diverse application of blockchain, emphasizing its pivotal role in fostering transparency and trust within marketing practices. The escalating adoption of blockchain necessitates a comprehensive understanding of its working, its benefits, and implications across industries, including the dynamic marketing and media sector. Consequently, our discussion will explore the advantages and transformative potential that blockchain brings to this industry, navigating through the challenges it presents. Okay, now, so before we introduce, let me go to introducing our panelists first and foremost. I would allow me to join introduce our panelist for today, and I'm going to start with the beautiful and powerhouse lady on call today, the person of Oluwatayo. Oluwatayo is the founder of Techlytics. Oluwatayo is Oluwatayo is a distinguished tech consultant specializing in data and software products management with an impressive 12 years postgraduate track record across banking, fintech, and restaurant technology domains. As a chartered banker and certified safe professional, Oluwatayo's expertise is prominently woven into the fabric of her career, with noteworthy contributions at renowned organizations such as InterSwitch, which is Quicktellr, Access Bank, Fidelity Bank, and Vendes. As the visionary founder and principal consultant and Techlytics, Oluwatayo has created and managed impactful solutions that transcend industry boundaries. Our leadership has left an indelibly mark on startup fintechs like I hope I pronounced that properly, which located in Canada, and Fita in Algeria, as well as in the marketing arena with Intense Agency at Intense Agency. She spearheaded the development of the agency's inaugural digital and artificial intelligence flagship product, that's the Planet Additional. Oluwatayo's has made significant strides in the natural gas sector through her contribution to Gasco Marine Limited, driven by an unwavering passion to witness enterprises flourish through digitization of operational processes. Oluwatayo is committed to enhancing efficiency with cutting-edge technology. At present, she is dedicated to addressing and simplifying the supply chain challenges impending the efficient distribution of natural gas in Nigeria. Oluwatayo's commitment is committed to excellence, coupled with her diverse and successful track record positions her as a trailblazer in tech consulting and digital transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, present to you Oluwatayo. So Oluwatayo, if you would just unmute and just share a thought or two while we commence the webinar.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction, Antonia. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be discussing about blockchain and the possibilities it can bring our way. I mean, blockchain as an emerging technology, I would still consider it as an emerging technology. It's a beautiful time, and this is even the right time for us to start having those conversations and how it can impact the marketing space. While I understand that we're talking about the marketing space today, much more than the marketing space, there's a lot more potential that this technology can bring our way as humans. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm hopeful that everybody on the call who are either marketing enthusiasts or marketing professionals or blockchain enthusiasts, I'm hopeful that this will be great value for our time. And at the end of the day, we would have learned a thing or two, or we would have, rubbed minds with one another. So I'm happy to be here, really. I'm looking forward to a fantastic and exciting session.
Definitely. And I'm sure with capable panelists as yourself were definitely assured to learn 18 or two doing this at the end of this webinar. So I can see Mr. Luatosin now. And Mr. Tosin, so nice of you to join us. So Mr. Tosin is going to continue with the introduction of our panelists. Mr. Tosin, you're currently muted at the moment. Okay, Mr. Tosin, seems like we can't really hear you at the moment. I don't know if it's just me. Can we confirm that? Can we all hear Mr. Tosin?
No, I can't hear him.
Okay, seems he's still grappling with network issue. So while he tries to get on call again, I think the network is really fluctuating today. So while he tries to log in on the call again, I'll just proceed with introducing our other panelists. And next on call, I'm going to be introducing Mr. David Efyong, or as he likes to be addressed, Mr. David Zoe Efyong. David Zoe is CEO of the BEI Consultancy Limited. David Efyong, also known as David Zoe Efyong, is a blockchain consultant. He joined the industry late 2016 and has been there till date. David Zoe began his career in the industry with content creating, and he later moved to trading before diversifying into other aspects of blockchain. He worked for several blockchain projects, both internationally and also African projects. He had taught and spoken to over 20,000 audience through webinars, seminars, private mentorship, and his ambassadorial program. David Zoe, I hope I'm pronouncing it accurately, wrote a book in 2020 titled Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Simplified by David Zoe Efyong, and he founded the BEI Consultancy Limited. Currently, the Vice President on Blockchain Education and Adaptation at Stakeholders in Blockchain Technology Association of Nigeria, CBAN, and also he is the CEO of Smart Bets. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. David Zoe Efyong. Mr. David, I hope I pronounced it rightly. And also, if you just want to share with us what's currently your thoughts right now before we go into the subject matter of today's webinar.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, you pronounce it very well. And because I'm happy to be here and I await the proper of the seminar. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Okay, so, and Also, the last on our panelist row, but definitely not the least, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Emmanuel Nwaja. Mr. Emmanuel Nwaja, and Mr. Emmanuel Nwaja, marketing manager of VitroWire, is an ex-American Institute of Chemical Engineers contributor, also an ex-head of content at Social Lanja Digital Agency, and also he is an MBA scholar from Tekedia Institute, Boston, USA. Serving as the marketing manager at VitroWire Limited, he has worked with over 30 local and international brands, and he's also leading and supporting products and project launches and growth. A recent feather to his cap, his many cap, I must add, is his leadership and responsibility for the operations and marketing successes of Nigerians' current most innovative logistic platform, My Co-Pilot. Emmanuel Nwaja is a marketing professional with a clear track record of consistent growth and success. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nwaja Emmanuel. Mr. Emmanuel, if you would also like to share your thoughts concerning today's webinar, even before we proceed to start the session.
Okay, thank you very much for that introduction. Nice to share the panel space with some very special people today. Looking forward to the conversation. Yeah.
Fantastic. So I'm also, like I did cite earlier on, I'm joined by the beautiful business head of the Eco-Innovation Center, the person of Madam Tito. She's going to be co-hosting and working with me, even as we explore this amazing and exciting subject matter. Madam Tito, if you would just want to say hi. All right. Okay, so well, we would proceed. And something remarkable about today's topic is it's a very unique and an interesting subject matter, right? Because when you mention blockchain, what comes to the average mind is cryptocurrency. What they're thinking about is Dogecoin, Bitcoin, and all of that, right? So that's what comes to people's mind when you say blockchain, right? And it's actually understandable because the blockchain technology actually gained its fame primarily as the underlying technology behind cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. So even though it was like the underlying technology behind cryptocurrencies, they're actually two different, they're different, right? So just to simplify it for time's sake, crypto is a digital currency, right, that works with or on blockchain technology, while blockchain is a decentralized, distributed ledger technology. In simple terms, it's just a special way of recording information instead of storing data in a place. It's stored on many computers, right, around the world. So this computer constantly talk, they interact with each other to make sure everyone has the same information. And then once something is recorded on a blockchain, right, it's very hard to change or to delete. And this is what has made blockchain a secure and trustworthy technology, right? And it uses contrary to popular thinking, its uses extends far beyond just money or digital currency. It can be used for lots of things like tracking goods in a supply chain. It can be used for record keeping, improving our record keeping facilities in our healthcare sector. It can be used in our intellectual property, musicians, artists, right? And then it can also be used in real estate and so many more sectors, right? So, well, without further ado, let's just jump right into today's topic, right? So my first question, I'm going to be addressing my first question to Mr. Emmanuel Nwaja, right? Who is the marketing manager of VitroWire. So, Mr. Emmanuel, given your experience with both Web2 and Web3 brands, right? could you share a specific example of how blockchain technology was integrated into a marketing campaign to enhance customer engagement or brand loyalty? And while you're at it, maybe you can just tell us a bit of what virtual wire is. So I'm going to be posting the
Okay.
questions on the chat box. You can refer to it.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that's sort of a tricky question, and at the same time, it's a very important one. But let me start by introducing myself a bit more simply. I am Emmanuel Wanja. I think that's how it's pronounced, Wanja, one and a jar. And as the marketing director, marketing manager of VitroWire, VitroWire in itself is a marketing and development agency for Web3 and Web2 projects. Founded here in Lagos, but we've had our tentacles spread across Africa as well as the abroad. What we do is help both startups and established companies define strategies around how to integrate the best pieces of marketing to achieve success. At the same time, for those who don't have products but they have ideas, we can help you decide how best to build on your ideas without spending so much. Depends on your budget. Now, going back to your question, examples of where we've implemented blockchain technology in marketing. The first thing I would say, like I rightly published in one of my articles, blockchain in itself, in terms of marketing and blockchain communications or the whole blockchain trend, it's not just a technology or a technological thing. I think that's where most of us make the mistake of it. It's more like, look at it as the advancement of the internet, right? With the advancement of the internet from Web 1 to Web 2, a lot of our cultures changed. The way we interacted with each other changed. The same thing is happening in Web 3 now, which is known, driven by blockchain technology, as well as artificial intelligence and the rest of them. Now, with respect to implementing blockchain technology or blockchain strategies in marketing, like you rightly mentioned, it's not all about cryptocurrency. So one of the things we do is look at the interactions around the success of blockchain projects. Why are Web3 projects more successful at marketing and at garnering users than the actual web or the previously known Web2 projects? It's because of the culture of community. Now, community can be driven by so many things. It can be achieved through so many tools or so many methods. It's not a matter of defining what your brand or what the focus or the culture of your brand permits in building the community. For example, my co-pilot, where I'm the marketing director. My co-pilot, as of today, we have one of the best customer feedback in terms of customer service experience. One of the reasons for that is because unlike most Web2 projects or most projects that were not core blockchain developed projects, when we started, we implemented the same blockchain marketing strategies that VitroWire has advised a lot of other persons to do. What was that? It was setting up a community around your product such that people feel the need to contribute to your development, not just make complaints, right? Now, for every time a user gives a feedback, there is some form of appreciation. Remember that in Web3, you hear about crypto tokens and the airdrops and the rest. A Web2 company can do similar stuff without having to launch a token. You can still reward users for being good community members, thereby opening them up to sharing feedback in the most honest way possible for the success of your company. So it's now a matter of understanding the culture behind blockchain, the culture driving blockchain technology and the Web3 industry generally, and taking that to build on your Web2 business, brand, or product. It is not a must that you must go develop your product now on the blockchain. But if you can do that, I would advise you to find a way to implement that. We don't have a lot of time, so I will leave it at this. I hope this gives you more insight into your question.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. And thank you for correcting me. Mwaja, right? I hope I got it right this time. Is it worse this time? I see you laughing. Did I get it?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just one and a jar. Just look at it as
I
one
think
and a jar.
one jar. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. And just to summarize what you said, yeah, like in other words, if you're listening from wherever you're listening from, or on the Zoom call, or watching us via our YouTube channel, because this program is being streamed on our YouTube channel right now. You don't have to start from the scratch, right? Just integrate what successful organizations are doing, and Mr. Emmanuel is advising that you take advantage of community, right? Focusing on your community. And the next question I'm going to be asking the beautiful Oluwatayo, right? Which your background, as in with your background in data and software products management, how do you see blockchain technology addressing the growing concern around data privacy and security in marketing, especially in light of evolving regulations?
All right. Thank you, Antonia. And thank you, Antonia. That's a very fantastic question. So generally, right, blockchain can address a lot of things, but I would round it up to two things. It can address issues around data privacy and security. In marketing, particularly, it can you and I are probably being victims of, the ways your data has probably been used. That you just probably get one email from somewhere, one call or one text from somebody somewhere that you can't even remember, sharing your data with that person or with that organization. So blockchain can help us address growing concerns in those regards as concerning data privacy and security in marketing in several ways, especially for digital marketing agencies. Well, everything has to be digital right now. So I'll just be speaking in line of digital marketing, not generalized marketing or physical kind of marketing. So it can help us to handle issues around data privacy and security, and in response to evolving regulations such as GDPR and similar data protection nationwide. So let me look at two examples around data encryption and decentralization, and around consent management. So how can blockchain help us to address concerns like this? So you can imagine you are a company, maybe a multinational even, that you have many branches or many expressions worldwide, or many expressions maybe within the same country. You have different branches, and you probably necessarily need to pass information or pass information to all of these, your branches and all of that. And you need a way to find pass this information in a secure way, right? And that's where decentralized applications come into place. And that's the entire essence of blockchain technology itself, right? So that alone is very helpful for those kinds of organizations that really they cannot afford that data gets leaked anyhow, or they cannot even afford to be to experience downtime for a second. And we know of sectors like that this can really be very helpful to. Yes, we're talking about marketing, and we know of other sectors like banking, sectors like healthcare. They can't afford to be down, right? Or else it's roll, right? So yes, blockchain can really be helpful in those regards when it comes to data encryption and decentralization. It can also be helpful, especially in marketing, for consent management, right? With blockchain-based technology, you can imagine having consumers like you and I. You can maintain good amount of control over your personal data and grant permissions for its use for marketing purposes, you can easily choose to withdraw at any point in time, and you can easily do a lot of stuff, right? And maybe somebody would argue to say, oh, today I can choose to subscribe to a mailing list and I can choose to unsubscribe. The way that if that was being used or if that was being stored or controlled using blockchain technology, the edge it has is you're able to, if tomorrow you want to dispute or you want to disputes to say that, oh, I didn't give you consent over this, or did you guys update your privacy consent at any point in time and I'm not aware of, those kind of disputes can be transparent to everybody. Whatsoever transaction or whatsoever events that might have transpired between the consumer, the subject, or the marketing agency, whatever event that might have happened is more transparent in those cases because it's blockchain, right? Each of the ledgers, they are individually independent and they are tamper-proof. So it's a good way to say, oh, this is when you gave us your consent. This is how we timestamp and receive your consent at so date at so time. And if we ever made any updates to it, this is the time the update was made. This is when you gave us your other consent or maybe an updated consent, right? So it's a good way. Blockchain technology today, the way it's going to, especially in marketing, it's a good way to help us address issues around data privacy and security. Yep. So I hope I answered your questions.
Yes, you did, and you did beautifully well. Thank you so much, Oluwatayo. So I'll be asking the next question. I'm trying to speed up because I see our time is fast spending. So I'm going to be asking Mr. Davies Zoe the next question. Having taught and spoken to over 20,000 individuals about blockchain, what are the most common misconceptions you have encountered regarding its application in marketing, and how have you tackled these misconceptions?
Okay. Thank you so much for the question. Actually, the first speaker and actually did justice to this question actually, because and also you also during your introduction you made justice to this question actually. When you bring in the word called blockchain to the ecosystem, that means maybe the people around the first thing that comes to their mind is Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and how many X can I make? Can I put $10 and get out 20 million naira in the next few minutes and the rest? So, and this misconception, right, is kind of a bit, I don't know if it's the way African thinks, I don't know, but we thank God that we were able to give a little bit of education. That is why you see even exchanges coming into Africa, you see several people coming to Africa, and what they are always focusing on is education. Just several Twitter spaces, letting them know that the technology is far beyond the cryptocurrency. Now, if this state does not exist, these currencies will not exist. Now, cryptocurrency is just a simple means of explaining this thing to them. Now, for example, you might say this and that on the blockchain transparent and the rest. They can't understand. So, but just that cryptocurrency is kind of an example, right? Okay, I can move funds from year to year, is being transparent, it's being recorded, it's being tracked. So this kind of example of what will happen, according to our last speaker, in both in health sector and the rest. So we've been trying our best in doing that in education, right? Educating them and also bringing in real life product aside crypto trading. So that's what we're trying to debunk at the for some time. And I'm very grateful that most of us have, and if you observe now in Africa and Nigeria as a whole, people are not having careers in blockchain, not just more longer trading anymore. So we've been trying our best, actually.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, David. And the MarkHack 3.0 were all about marketing and media rights and innovations that could help foster our ecosystem here in Nigeria. So, like, what would you, for people that have our regulators, what would be your advice to them in how they can help the knowledge of blockchain, right, and how they can equip people to like come on board and be innovative and implement the blockchain technology in their various endeavors, because it's a technology that is diverse, right? And you can apply it to any sector. So what would be your advice to them?
All right, thank you for that question. In case of the regulator, actually, CBAN actually is a steering committee that was approved by the federal government in giving out policies in the blockchain industry in Nigeria, and which I'm happy to be the vice president in education and the rest. And what we are trying to do is very simple. We are trying to let the regulator understand that a founder in Nigeria and Africa is not the same founder in other countries. For example, the recent bill that came out in which they increase for you to have a license, or the license, you need at least roughly close to 1.3 billion naira alone. And this is being done for both Africa international projects. So this is quite not encouraging. So we're trying to bring out some maybe dispute about it, collecting, okay, this is not fair enough. So for us to have to be able to bring out projects like our market in our country, we need to understand that there's a place for indigenous products. You don't tend to give us now. Come on, where do you in an average investor, an average product, or an average CEO in Nigeria gets 1.5 billion naira from? Not even a billion from where? Yeah, so this is what we're trying to do. Understand? So talking to the SEC, right, so that they can understand. Now this is now, I don't really blame them. What they tend to understand is based on the noise they've been seeing out there. Of course, I bought a coin with $10, I make $1 million, you know, and they're now feeling that the money is just there. Understand? Forgetting that it's far beyond cryptocurrency. Most time we want to create products maybe in healthcare, create it maybe in agricultural sector. Understand? So real estates, right? So these are what you should consider, and these are what you have to talk to them. So I believe the next 2-3 months, everything will be settled, and of course there will be some encouragement from this tech aspects in Nigeria to encourage founders. Yeah.
I thank you very much, David. We'll be looking out for you. And then for everyone participating to learn more about the MarkHack 3.0 event, you can just click on the registration link that has been posted on our chat box. All right, so moving along, I'm going to be asking Mr. Emmanuel. Mr. Emmanuel, as someone who has led products and project launches for over 30 brands, what challenges have you encountered when implementing blockchain solutions in marketing, and how were these challenges addressed?
Okay, I like the fact that you're throwing questions that are practical my way. Thank you very much for the question in the first place. That's a brilliant one. Let me think. There are a few challenges, but let me pick one. Okay, one of the biggest challenges you or anyone else would face, especially if you're trying to market to a broad audience, right? You're trying to sell to the international community. One is they are in two phases within the same challenge. One is the barrier, the knowledge barrier. What do people know about the technology you want to use to sell to them, or the technology you're selling to them, right? As a business or as a brand. Number two is communication barrier, right? What by communication, I don't mean English language. Yes, you could easily hire someone who speaks French to join your team and work as a customer service rep. But then there are tools designed for blockchain marketing to help you achieve the best results, especially if you want to integrate reward systems that are tied to the blockchain network. For example, if we're looking at, if I ask on this call and people listening from home, if they have heard of a product or a tool called Atrace, some people will look at me like, what's he saying? What's this? But most people know WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the rest. But for marketers, there are new tools that have been positioned or that are currently positioned to help us maximize customer engagement without having to spend a lot on trial and error. Because the essence of Web3 communication, Web3 marketing, is to scale word of mouth. That is why crypto is thriving. People are telling their neighbors about it. Like Devosi said, or Deviso, I think I'm mispronouncing your name. Yeah, like you said, and I won't blame anybody. It's not a Nigerian thing, it's a global thing, right? Every human being is looking for benefits. So if the benefit is profits, people will take it. That's why everybody's going for crypto. So if we're looking at the challenges, we need to factor in things like the tools involved, the technology, the tools involved in using or utilizing this technology for your marketing, as well as the knowledge barrier, depending on who you're selling to. So understanding this will help you know how to craft your strategy around blockchain marketing and your own product. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Emmanuel, for that. Right. And next I'm going to be asking Oluwatayo. Oluwatayo, like I cited when I was reading her bio, she wears many hats, right? And one of that is working in the natural gas industry, right? So I'm going to be addressing this next question to you. Given your experience in addressing supply chain challenges, how can blockchain be leveraged to improve transparency and traceability in marketing supply chains, particularly for industries like natural gas distribution?
Thank you. Thank you for that, Antonia. So for natural gas industry, the natural gas industry is quite a peculiar one. And that's because I'm going to find a way to merge the operational aspect and the logistic aspect. I'm going to find a way to merge it and how it will be beneficial for marketing purposes or maybe for customer retention and engagement kind of purposes. Now, I'll address the blockchain bit in two regards, where we can have smart contracts. Smart contracts generally are self-executing. Nobody needs to tap you, say, guy, go and do your work. You go and do your work. You go here, you go there. They're self-executing. They meet a condition or they meet a criteria. Everything just does itself by itself, right? And that's the entire essence of renewable energy, or that's the entire essence of automation, quote and unquote. So in renewable energy sector or natural gas sector, there are people, you and I, if we had our way, we don't ever want to be out of power, right? We don't ever want to be out of, you sure want the AC to be blowing, which means, and the way that can continuously happen is there's consistent supply of energy. There is a generating plant that is consuming CNG and it's in turn producing electricity for you 24/7. So how that happens is, so in that space, if there are smart contracts that basically helps, at least from the aspect of onboarding the clients or the users, onboarding, you're basically agree to terms and conditions of, oh, okay, we're going to be supplying you this particular amount of this particular volume of scum on a daily basis, or this particular volume of scum on a monthly basis, and this is the way, this is the modality of how we're going to be how our asset is going to be on your premises. You've basically stated those terms and conditions in your contract. Once everybody has agreed, things kick forward. You are able to say, oh, okay, it is these people have started consuming gas, and we already know their consumption on a daily basis, whether they consume 8,000 scum on a daily basis. Once a threshold is hit, maybe by the time your volume has come down to a particular threshold, you already see the system already knows that, oh, in another 2 hours, you'll be out of power. It's self-executing. You're already sending necessary messages to people who are in the next, who are necessarily supposed to take action to say, oh, okay, this kid is going to go empty soon. Let's start decanting the other one. And also that smart contract, having to have smart contracts, smart sensors, of course, while we're probably capturing all of those data and storing on a blockchain, on a blockchain ledger somewhere. There's also the aspect where you cannot do without, so when it comes to smart sensors, you cannot do without some form of IoT devices where you're able to smartly detect beforehand whether something is going to go wrong soon, or maybe there's a leakage somewhere that can quickly give you heads up. So all of this, there's a lot of it's a lot of data that needs to be put together, and you having all of this at your disposal helps your marketing effort, or helps your marketing effort to drive retention. Because if you as a company, you're very proactive, you make good use of data points like this, you can easily predict or proactively take action even before your customer knows that, oh, a skid is leaking. Before your customer knows that, you yourself as the supplier, you already know that this kid is leaking and we're coming to retrieve it from your premises. Or we already know what your pattern or your consumption pattern is like. We can easily quickly predict, oh, you would need some more volume, and we can, before you say Jack Robinson, another skid is in your compound, we're already supplying you from time to time. So there is no space, or there is no where for you to lack anything. So yes, when it comes to blockchain technology, it would be very helpful in when it comes to self-executing contracts, smart contracts in another way, and it can also drive retention for your marketing efforts for a marketing agency.
Thank you so much, Oluwatayo. Oluwatayo spoke about smart contracts, and yes, it sounds like a whole lot of processes that would be implemented, but the truth or the game here is that it is achievable, and if we'll only implement this, it would increase efficiency, reduce wastage, and give us the much electricity that we all deserve. All right, so moving on, I'm going to be asking and targeting my question to Mr. David Zoe. Mr. David Zoe, as I cited when reading his bio earlier on, has written a book, is the author of the book Blockchain, right? Yes. Yeah. He's the author of the book. He wrote a book in 2022 titled Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Simplified, right? So I'm going to be asking you a question now. Given your knowledge and given your experience, right, in the field, how can blockchain be leveraged to improve, given your knowledge, right, as the author of the book Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Simplified, what advice would you give to a marketer looking to leverage blockchain technology for the very first time? In other words, if you were to start afresh today, 2024, March 2024, what would you do differently? And what strategies would you implement? And what would be your safe haven into getting into the blockchain technology field?
All right, thank you so much. That question just has one answer, and the answer is to go for education. Go for knowledge. Once you know what you are doing, it's easier for you. Don't just jump around and the rest. Go for knowledge. Go for education, because amazingly, the blockchain field or the industry is broad. It's super broad. So you need to understand fundamentals first. So I believe I advise everyone, right, before coming or having, just even though you're on Web 2, because is a must, right? Is the transition of technology, all right, the new web evolution. So you must all go for the knowledge. That's my advice, and that's the only safe haven for everybody. Go for knowledge, then you can understand what to do and what not to do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Emmanuel, David, Zoe, for that. You say we should go for education, right? Go for the fundamentals. Just to chip in and just to ask like further, if for those joining in that have an idea, like you mentioned that it's actually blockchain is a broad field, right? Like what advice, like a baby trying to crawl and all of that, what advice, like what topics should they look out for? What sector should they start with? Like what would give them the advantage and like the grip that they need?
Okay, I think I should just say this at once. First of all, just like we have the Web2, all right, that means the normal um, ecosystem, have like the normal banking system, normal health sector, and the rest. It's same thing, just that this one has an higher technology. All right, so that means we are seeing HR personnel on the blockchain. We also need accountants. We need graphic designers. We need programmers. So we need admins. So the way you treat your Web2 jobs, same thing here. But what will differentiate you, or what will give you higher level, is you understanding the fundamentals, understanding blockchain that you can apply. As you can also be a marketer. So let me have your normal Web2 jobs, but we have even barristers like law, people who focus on only digital assets or blockchain cases. So it's same thing. Like, so that means if you are actually a content creator, all right, what you need to do is to go and understand blockchain to know how to coin your content to Web3 contents. So it's as simple as that. As simple as that.
Thank you very much, David, for that. So whatever your field is, whatever sector you're coming from, we're talking about blockchain as a technology that can play a major role in transforming how we see marketing and media in our ecosystem. So whatever your sector is, David is telling you, go learn how to integrate blockchain because it is an enabler. It's just there to make things better, faster, easier, right? And safer, right? So just learn how to implement blockchain into what you're doing currently. Just take the baby step, and with time you evolve and you pivot. All right, so we have just 4 minutes left. Time has gone so fast, and we've not even gotten to hear our participants ask us questions. Let's just do this. Let's just take one word, a word of encouragement because we respect our participants' time. Let's just take a word of encouragement for each panelist, and then we'll call it a day for today. So I'll start with Mr. Emmanuel.
Okay, the word of encouragement. With the way the world is moving, the global economy, does anybody needs to be encouraged to seek knowledge? But since we're talking about marketing, right? I don't know when someone will watch this or who is already viewing this here. The truth is, everybody needs to understand the principles of marketing and sales. At every point in our life, we're selling something, right? And whether it has to do with blockchain technology, blockchain itself is just a technology. That's what I think that's what people need to understand. It's just a technology. The same way we have the internet. Before the internet, we were living life like people were living, right? Blockchain has come to better what we already have. So don't be frightened by it. Like David said, understand it. You fear what you don't understand. So understand it first, and don't try to be everything. Don't try to be everybody, right? Focus on where you're most interested in. If you're drawn towards design, look for projects that have design affiliations. You could look for artistic projects. I know a project here in Nigeria that is leveraging blockchain technology to split original art pieces, African art pieces, so that people like you and I, who cannot buy them in millions of dollars, can buy them in bits and still own the original piece, right? Now, if I am drawn to art, I should be able to, position myself within that industry. If I am drawn to communication, there are different areas, there are different places you can work in. Like David already mentioned, blockchain is not a standalone thing. we're still operating with the same structure, business processes and the rest. Industries will still exist. Agriculture is still there. Healthcare is still there. But the technology is making all of these things better in line with the AI, advancement. So go for what you want, find the knowledge you need, acquire as much as you can, and then make sure you put it to work, because acquiring the knowledge alone won't help you. So put it to work and make something of it. That's what I would say, regardless of what you want to use blockchain for. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. You say do not be frightened by it. Learn it, find your specialty, and explore the markets, and make sure you take actions. I'm going to be asking the beautiful lady now, Miss Oluwatayo, your word of advice.
When Emmanuel was speaking, I was like, this one that Emmanuel has carried everything. Now, wait our answer. All right. Okay. Since we're talking about words of encouragement, I'm happy we're even having these pre-conversations. I'm sure that 2-3 years ago, this was the same way people were, inspiring us to have words of encouragement about artificial intelligence, right? And now today is about blockchain technology. So I'm just going to buttress or piggyback on what Emmanuel had spoken about earlier, and it's more on understanding the technology itself. Having to build a decentralized application or having to build on a decentralized network is no joke, and it's not cheap, and it's not because that's why that's where the understanding comes into play. It's you by saying it's not cheap doesn't necessarily even mean monetary wise, because truly monetary wise is also not cheap. But I'm talking about resources wise, and you also do not want whatsoever blockchain strategy that you've implemented, you want it to return to you maximum returns. So understanding is key. And once once you have a full grasp of what the technology can offer, you can identify sectors of your marketing business that you can migrate, or that you can leverage blockchain technology to refine or to scale. So I would also reiterate that understand the technology itself. While you're understanding the technology, be able to identify key areas that you need to understand when it comes to with regards to regulation, because what is acceptable in Nigeria may not be acceptable in the US, may not be acceptable in Monaco, right? Especially if you're operating at a global scale, or if you're processing global, or if you're processing data of global clients, right? So you also want to understand regulations from different sectors or from different parts of the world. So yes, understanding is key. Also, as much as possible, merge that with understanding the regulations that regulates all of these things. So yes, that would be my own word of encouragement, really.
Hi, thank you, Luatayo. Understanding the technology itself. And then you did mention something very important, which is understanding the regulations, right? Because it's not a one fits all, right?
Yeah.
We have different timing, so you have to go research the regulations that are allowed in your locality or in your region to say. And then lastly, just in one word, Mr. David, one word, a word of encouragement. One word, one sentence.
Thank you so much. My last word I have to say, of course, they've all said it all already. So all I will have to say is, if it requires to pay for knowledge, then pay for it.
That was a very quick word. All right. So Mr. David says, pay the price for knowledge, right? Because if you go swimming in unfamiliar waters, you might get beaten by something. So pay for the knowledge, familiarize yourself with the technology, understand the rules, right? And that's a wrap for today's pre-conversation. I want to thank all our beautiful panelists, and then those who made this program worthwhile, which is our beautiful participants, who this program is actually tailored for, right? Yes, and I also want to thank the creators of the MarkHack 3.0, an amazing initiative we have going on here trying to solve and tackle issues in the Africa marketing and media ecosystem. Until next week, I will come again from the stables of EIC. We'll be sharing the communications as to when we'll be having the next session. I want to especially thank our panelists, the beautiful Luatayo Emmanuel, Mr. Emmanuel, and then of course the amazing Mr. David Zoe for joining us on call today and for sharing from their wealth of knowledge and experience. It's been a pleasure. And I also want to give a shout out to my co-host today, Mr. Luatosin. Apologies for the technical difficulties we had earlier on in the show. We'll work on providing more seamless transmission next time. Also, I want to thank, acknowledge the presence of Madam Bola Tito, the business head of Eco Innovation Center, and also a beautiful social media manager, Bimpe, who has been on call with us. Thank you. That would be all for today. Thank you. Do have an amazing day. Thank you so much. Thank you, Luataya. Thank you, Emmanuel. And thank you, David.
Thank you.